Good morning, everybody. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning. I'm over here at L'Aventure. This is a by appointment only winery here in Paso Robles. I was just over at Clos Salin, which I'll do a more in-depth review of later because I was at their spring release party this morning, tasting all their spring wines, and it was a little crazy. A lot of people there, a lot going on, so I just didn't have a chance to kind of break away and do some of the reviews of the wines that I enjoyed, but I'm hoping to do that a little more here at L'Aventure. So I'm going to go in, get a little more information on L'Aventure, and try some of the wines. All right. It's gonna be a good day. So she set me up really good here at L'Aventure. I'm in this little kind of sealed off area with the cave of wine behind me here. So cool. Nice and calm in here and quiet. So this is the 2018 rosé. I'm gonna look at the tasting notes here. Well, it just talks about the wine itself. So it's a 2018 rosé, 40% Syrah, 25% Grenache, 24% Mourvedre, and 8% Petit Verdot, 3% Graciano. So that's a lot of different wines inside of this rosé, which has a really, really citrusy smell. Oh wow, it's got a very acidic minerality to it, which is nice. Kind of a saltiness on the taste, on the end of that, on that finish. This is really good. 32 bucks a bottle. Yeah, I'll be taking a few of these home. This is really nice. Right up there with Clos Salin, which is a rare thing to find because these rosés are, again, these are really lightly colored. They're not like the deep rosé. Even Clos Salin, when I show you Clos Salin's rosé, it's about half that density as far as the color. It almost looks like a white wine. They put so little of the skins in the wine, so they don't use very much time on the skins to give it that nice light pink color. One note they have here on the rosé is that it's a no barrel fermentation. It's only tank fermentation, which means that there's no French oak, there's no oak at all in these type of wines. It's all a stainless steel fermentation tanks, which you would expect. The only time you start getting into that kind of stuff is like with the Chardonnays, with doing the oak Chardonnay. All right, we're gonna move on. The next wine is the Optimus 2017. I'll read you a little bit about the what's in this. There you go, just get a little color. It's hard to see without the sun. That's the color. Actually, all of these wines are about the same color. They all look about this density of red. This is a 49% Syrah, 41% Cab, and 10% Petit Verdot. And it's been aged 14 months in 60% new French oak and 40% one-year-old French oak, which I've never heard of that, so interesting. Definitely smell the oakiness. Yeah, it's got kind of that leathery smell to it, leathery tobacco. This is my first time trying this. Wow. Long finish. It's definitely got some tannins and kick into it. I'm assuming this is going to take some time to cool, to lay down and let this thing relax a little bit. That is a big wine, very big wine. So the interesting thing about Clos Salin is that their wines are made to be a lot more, smooth and velvety. They do have some kick and pepper on the Clos Salin wines, but these are definitely like made to age, made to lay down. You don't want to drink these these are 2017s. You don't want to drink these right away. It would just be really, you'd be missing out on what these things are going to become. I mean, on the fruit side, it's got a lot of plum and dark cherry. Definitely dark cherry. but really complex. So complex I can't quite nail it. But you know, yesterday when I was tasting some of the wines and they just had that really heavy oak where all you taste is the oak, it's like, it's so overpowering, you just lose sight of all the beautiful fruit part of the wine. And this is not, this has got a good balance, but it does have a lot of tannins. I do feel, you know, the suction of the saliva out of my mouth, and it's like, it's a big wine. Not, I've had much bigger, but it's sort of in that middle. Yeah, I could drink it now, but I don't think I want to. I'd want to wait on this wine. So this is the 2017 Cote. This is the next wine on the tasting menu. As you can see, similar color. A lot less oak on that one, but it's there. Let me read you what this has in it. It is 48% Grenache, so it's a heavy Grenache blend. 32% Mourvedre and 20% Syrah. It was aged 14 months in 30% New French Oak, 38% one-year-old French Oak, and 26% concrete tank and 6% amphora. I'm gonna have to ask what amphora is because I've never heard of that. But the concrete tank thing is actually really cool. I've noticed a lot of the wineries around here have been doing that more often, where they've taken some time and put it into concrete tanks. And it seems to add that minerality to it, like that, I don't know, that it's an interesting structure, almost like a, not salty, but I don't know, it's hard to explain. It's like, you can kind of taste that hardness about it. Like it's a coldness, heaviness to the wine. So where oak is sort of got a leathery sort of smoky flavor, the concrete actually brings it back down a little bit and makes it feel almost like a steel, like a tank. But it's not. It's concrete. It's mineral. Ooh, I like that a lot. That's really nice. So that's got a really nice blend of that. Wow, long finish. It's still going on. The finish is still happening in my mouth right now. Long finish. It's nice because the oak is not really pronounced. You can barely taste the oak. It's almost got more of that jammy Zinfandel taste. I think that's the Mourvedre or Mourvedre. That's got all that extra, that boom of fruit, that beefy fruitness. And then, there's that, a little bit of the oak, a little bit of the smoky, that smoky flavor. But like I said, that's barely there. You can barely taste the smoky. It's a lot more about the fruit. And then that complexity, that texture from the concrete. I like this a lot. This is so far my favorite Cote. Of course, it's $100 a bottle. But this is one of those wines where I'd want to let it sit for at least 3 to 5 years before I start opening this stuff up. It's drinkable now, but again, why? Why would you jump the gun on this stuff? It's got a long shelf life. Okay, this is called For Her. This is a 2017. They're all 2017s. But this is actually the tasting room manager's favorite wine. This is what she loves. So this is 54% Syrah. It says Hilltop Block, so it must be a very specific block that they're using for this Syrah. 32% Graciano, 14% Viognier, co-fermented. That usually means that they'll do a fermentation on all three individually. So they'll do the Syrah, they'll do the Graciano and the Viognier all separate, and then they'll blend them together and do another fermentation to give it a little more time for them to blend together, which a lot of places don't do. They don't have the time to do that. So this is interesting that they took the time to co-ferment all of these together for a little while. It says 14 months and 40% new French oak and 60% one-year-old French oak. I don't know which one they're used to co-ferment, but we'll take a taste here. Oh, wow. Still happening, still in my mouth, still finishing. There, it's gone. Okay, that was really, really nice. There is a lot of spice on the back end of this, more than the last wine. But the interesting thing about it is it's very velvety on the front part of it. Like, I don't feel the tannins kicking in. It's not a heavy tannin wine. I'm not feeling that saliva suck. It's more about the pepper on the back end, which is really interesting. Maybe my palate's just wrecked. But that could be true too. But no, this is really nice. You know, what I've noticed a lot of the times is, like, if I put a wine down and I remember how it smelled, oftentimes it turns into what it smells. That's been sort of my experience. I don't know if that's true or not, but like, if you smell like a very interesting fruit smokiness from the oak, and then you taste it and it's got a lot more of the tannins, a lot more of the boldness of it, allowing it to wait will bring up a lot more of that fruit side, taste side, and drop a lot of the tannins and sort of the experience in the mouth. It's to me, it would be that I would age this less. I don't think this needs a lot of aging. It could use, you know, a couple of years. But it would be really, really nice to see what this would be like in a few years. Unfortunately, it says it's a wine club exclusive, so I won't be able to buy this today because I am not joining another wine club. I swear. But this is really a beautiful wine. Okay, this is the Chloe 2017. I'm gonna read this a little bit so you'll know what's in this wine. That's the color there. This is another exclusive for the wine club members only, so I won't be able to take this home, but I'm gonna try it out. Wow, I can barely smell any oak on that. This is probably gonna be really up my alley. I love when it's all about the fruit. So this is 74% Syrah McVeigh block, so it must be a very specific block of fruit. 18% Grenache old block, 5% Viognier, 3% Graciano, co-fermented, we talked about that already. 14 months and 40% new oak, and 60% one-year-old French oak. So that's what made this thing a beautiful wine. Again, a big wine, long finish, still going on, still dancing around. There, that was nice. This feels more complex and have a lot more ageability than the previous wine, than the For Her. I love these wines because when it first goes past your palate, you can really taste the fruit, and then suddenly all the spices kick up, and you've got this peppery dance on your tongue, and then a little bit of the tannins to suck out saliva, and then suddenly it kind of dissipates. So that's a bigger wine than I usually enjoy. But I do believe that this will just, you know, this has a long shelf life. These are wines you want to let sit for a couple of years, and that's been sort of the standard around the Paso wines, especially these types of wines. I mean, Syrah is a huge, heavy wine. 100% Syrahs are really hard to drink, for me, at least with my palate. But the Syrah, I think, is they're trying to pull it back a little bit with these other blending grapes. You know, the Grenache, especially the Viognier. They're trying to pull it back a little bit, so it's a little more approachable. But still, at 74% Syrah, this is a big wine. I can see why they're charging so much for this particular wine. This is a beautiful, beautiful wine. Again, I would take it home and just lay it down for 3 to 5 years and not even think about it, because it's not ready. It's not ready for prime time. Okay, so I have one more left, which is the Estate Cuvee. I'm probably saying that wrong because I don't speak French. Okay, so this is the 2017 Estate Cuvee. Obviously, when you say estate, that means it's 100% grown on the property. They don't buy any of the fruit. This is all coming from L'Aventure estates. These are all their wines. So this is a 49% Syrah, 30% Cabernet Sauvignon, 20% Petit Verdot. It's aged 15 months in 90% new French oak and 10% in 1-year-old French oak. So again, similar color, a little bit darker maybe. You know, the nose is very similar to the other wines. It's a Syrah. There's some cab in there. It should be a really nice blend. Again, long finish, still going on. Tannins are strong. My tongue is purple. Yeah, this is really, man, another big wine. The hard thing about these big wines is I want to be able to smell and taste what it could be in 3 to 5 years. Like I want to know, I want to imagine how it would taste in 3 to 5 years when I open this up. I don't love this. I mean, it's nice. I can't say it's a bad wine. All these wines are amazing. These are beautiful wines, but these are long-term investments into watching these wines change over time. So it's not like you're just gonna buy it and go take it home and open it up with your steak. That would be a mistake. You want these things to age for several years. Obviously not the rosé, but I would happily take a few home and let them sit for a couple years, but I just don't have the space. And yeah, L'Aventura will be here, I think, for a long time. They make amazing wines, and they are very popular around here in Paso. All right, so that was my tasting at L'Aventura 2020. Please make sure you comment and like this video and subscribe to my channel, because I'm going to be doing a lot more wine tasting, and we're going to be talking about wine all the time. This has just been a wonderful weekend experience. I've been treated very well by the lovely people here at Paso, and yeah, I'll be doing more, so cheers. I just finished the tasting, but I wanted to show you a little bit about the winery, the wines back here, the vines, and really just show you the soil that we're dealing with here, because the soil makes a lot of difference as far as how these wines react to the stress of having enough water and sort of the amount of heat and sun they get, and the stress from the soil. So check out the soil here. I mean, it's got all this like limestone, yeah, just all this beautiful stuff here. All of this is deep down on the ground as well, even though it's kicked up here on the top. But yeah, it's just really cool how the different soils in different areas. I mean, you get closer to the coast, you get a little more sand, a little more light grain, and then out here in Paso, you're getting a lot more rocky, volcanic terrain, and a lot of limestone out here. So that's what we're dealing with.